Ooh, what is up, fo-ho? Should I wear my glasses? It's always such a, let's just do the glasses. I'm feeling myself. Can you tell? I'm over here in my happy chair. It's my happy chair, okay? My happy chair, curling my hair. You see me? You see me? You see me? I'm curling it. I'm curling it. With the light on. Oh, my gosh. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. It's a lot of stuff going on. I'm fired up. I'm fired up. I like this Thoughtful Thursday thing once a month. I think that this is good. This is very good. I've had some time to prepare. I've had some time to watch the news. I've had some time to assess the climate of mentality for some people lately. I've had some time to put some things together and to kind of, I got myself a nice, good little workout this morning. Yes, believe it or not, some of us work out also. I painted my nails yesterday. I had time to prepare something for you all today, and I'm fired up. We're not going to be here longer than 15 minutes, so it's going to be an in and out kind of ordeal. But what I wanted to talk about is something serious. Okay, we're going to talk about something really serious because it's been a topic that I've been noticing is needed more now than I think ever before, Actually, that's a lie. There's been a lot of times where it's been needed, but I think right now, as people and with the access that we have, with the information that we have access to, with the resources we have access to, with everything that is going on, we have time now where we should be able to say, okay, this is something that we can work on right now, okay? And so that's part of the reason why I wanted to talk about that. And you guys are probably like, oh my God, what is that? We're going to talk about empathy today. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about empathy. There's a phrase, and I hear people say it all the time, and it's been said to me, and I didn't understand it when it was said because of how it was said, which was, I can have empathy for you, but I can't have sympathy for you. And if you say that, what does that even mean? Because that's not empathy at the end of the day. That is actually completely opposite. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And what I want to do is I'm not going to sit here and define stuff for you. I'm not. Why? Because I feel like personally, as people, examples work better and really putting it into perspective. So I'll kind of loose definition, but I'm not going to sit here. I don't have any textbooks next to me today, guys. I'm actually in the process of moving, so my little table that had all my books on it doesn't exist anymore. I'm very sad, but it's okay. I'll make a new one, so it'll be fine. But so empathy is the ability to almost relate to people and kind of be on somebody's level. Okay, sympathy is, I feel sorry for you. Oh, I'm sorry. It is what it is. There's a phenomenal video. I might post it actually. If Ellen gives me permission, I might post it because it's what we're talking about today. It's a phenomenal video that kind of paints this picture. But the reason why empathy is so important right now, and the reason why I've been paying attention to this so much the past couple of days and weeks is because there's a lot of stuff going on right now, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on in the culture and the media and just everywhere, right? And it's high time to kind of take an opportunity to say, it's that walk in your shoes kind of mentality. It's that let me put myself in your position. Let me think of a time where maybe I felt a similar way. And how was I feeling at that time? And how would I want somebody to come to me now and talk to me the way that I should talk to this person, right? So I'll use myself as an example. Let's say I'm in a situation where, I've been in a situation where, think of something. I don't know, anything. Here's my favorite. I've moved before, okay? I've moved before. One of the things that I have noticed about moving is it's a very stressful endeavor. One, you have to lift heavy stuff, a lot of heavy stuff. It's exhausting, right? Number one. Number two, you're cleaning, you're moving, you're cleaning, you might be throwing things away that maybe you're like, I kind of wish I could keep that, but I can't fit it, and da-da-da. So it can be kind of hurtful, there's some sentiment there that you're losing. And it's just the fact of, there's a fear of going to a new place and kind of starting over again, right? So here we are. Those are some things that I can relate to in moving. So if I have a friend, all right, who was my friend? Raquelita. That's my best friend, right? Raquel's moving now. All right. Raquel is moving now. She tells me, yeah, I'm in the process of moving. Da, da, da. I immediately, if she's kind of venting to me, she's kind of telling me about what she's going through. I immediately then in my head connect to that time when I was going through it and how hard it was for me. And then I think to myself, when I was going through what I was going through, what do I wish someone would have said to me? What do I wish I would have heard? What do I wish someone would have offered? What is it? All right. And I think of those things. And then what I do is I say and I offer and I whatever what it is that I need in order to do that, right? That what I thought I needed, I'm going to offer that to her. So for example, maybe it's, oh yeah, we got a lot of moving that we have to do tomorrow, da 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 da. Maybe tomorrow's Saturday. I'm off work. I'm not doing anything. I might say, hey, Raquelita, do you want me to come over? Do you want me to, let me offer you a helping hand. Maybe I can box some things for you. Maybe I can bring some boxes over. Maybe I can, get you some food. I don't know. Maybe I can do something, and I can help you out with that. Whoa. And Raquel's me like, oh my God, yes, like that would be great. Or maybe she'll say no. Maybe she'll say, oh no, we actually have a moving company coming and da 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 da. But XYZ, da da da. Maybe she's talking about how, she's concerned about people breaking things or putting holes in her walls or whatever the case may be. So I might say, yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from. As a matter of fact, I remember when I was moving, I was going through the exact same thing. And I remember something that helped me. And then I might say, and I might insert something that maybe I can kind of help in that way. What I'm talking about right now, this is talking about being empathetic in a situation. Because I'm not sitting here like, okay, Raquel tells me she's moving and I'm like, oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry to hear that. Or, oh, at least you're moving to a new place. Woo! Because, we can paint silver linings on things, which is great. It should always be positive. But sometimes when somebody is feeling how they're feeling, you inserting like, oh, here's just a positive thing to just put over the thing that you're going through, it's not necessarily going to make it any better. We talk about positivity and keeping a positive mental attitude, and you should be positive as you're being empathetic to other people. And the reason why I say all of this is because, guys, we're in a climate where people are dying, people are crying, they're losing family, they're losing significant others, they are, there's people who are relating and are very empathetic to a lot of situations that are going on around them. And even though it might not be something that you can relate to, it's something that a close friend you have, it could be a family member, it could be anybody, might be experiencing. Okay, whenever we have loss of life happening, all right, Napoleon Hill, I love my Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill talks about is the 7 most deeply rooted fears. And one of those fears is death. One of those fears is loss of life. Loss of love is another one, right? And we're in a position right now where both of those things are very prominent. Why? Because if you lose somebody that you hold dear, that's a loss of love. And if you lose your life, that's another thing. And there's a lot of people who are concerned about that, not just for them, but for their families. There's a lot of people who are concerned about this, not just for them, but for their children, for their parents, for their friends. And there's a lot of things, colleagues, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of people who are walking around with these fears right now. And if you're in a position where, something that I've tried to work on is, I'm one of those people, my favorite quote is, you can't walk in faith and fear at the same time, right? And it's not to say that you can't be scared of things. I'm scared of stuff all the time. There was a spider yesterday. Y'all should have seen this spider. It was like this big. It was huge. And it was like coming down from nowhere. Like I have no idea. And it was in the walkway. So we were like about to walk into it. And all of a sudden I made eye contact with the tarantula from Jurassic Park. I was like, what is going on here? And I got fears. Okay. At that point in time, there was no faith. The faith was, I got to get out of here. That was it, fight or flight. And so, but it's to say, there are people who, they're going through this and they're thinking about these things and it's bothering them right now. And if you're in a position where maybe you're not necessarily bothered by it, think about a time where something like this could have happened that you would have been bothered. And ask this simple question. How are you coping? How can I be here for you in this time? What could you use for me right now? What can I do for you? Whatever the case may be. What do you want to hear? Sometimes people are going to come to you and they're going to vent. They don't want any of your advice. They're not going to want your advice. They might not want your advice. Accept it. They might not want your advice. And my favorite question to ask when people, they tell me these things, I say, do you want my advice or do you just want me to listen? Ask that question. I know I was guilty of this. I used to be someone who, if you came to me and if you were venting, I assumed that you wanted me to fix your problem. I assumed that. And so they would talk to me, and then I would immediately come back with, oh, you should do this, 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 and this. And then after reading some books, doing some research and doing some growth, I learned, I was like, that's not the situation. Sometimes people, they're talking about something because they just need to get off of their chest what it is that is putting weight there. And here's the cool thing. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? This is going to be the best. This is profound. Are you ready? If someone's coming to you to tell you and get that off their chest, here's your compliment for the day. That person holds you at a very high esteem. Obviously. That person holds you at a high enough esteem that they think that coming to you, they're going to be protected. They're going to be heard. They're going to be validated. They're going to feel comfortable coming to you. Isn't that amazing? Like, don't you want people to feel that way about you and to feel like, oh, wow, this person is someone who I can go and is someone I can try, and whatever the case may be? That's what they're going to think, right? And if they're coming to you already, that is what they think. So if they come to you, they tell you about a situation that's going on, and your immediate reaction is, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, at least, whatever, or maybe you're in a bad mood that day, and so, this is my favorite thing that people do. Like, maybe you're feeling some type of way that day, so they come to you and they tell you about this whole thing, and you say, yeah, well, let me tell you what happened to me, and then you unload. Guys, recognize, there's going to be times when there's time when somebody's coming to you and they're telling you about them, and then there's a time when it's time for you to tell them about you. Right? Usually, whoever starts first wins. Whoever started talking first wins. So just let them have their moment. Let them talk. And then take your time. Maybe you need to think about, okay, if that is the only person that you talk to, maybe you need to just write it down for a moment and then come back to it later, whatever the case may be. If you have time for a 3-hour conversation, then have that same conversation then, but allow them to have that time. Allow yourself to ask those questions and put yourself on their level and really be there for someone, and then kind of move forward. And this can be done in groups as well. This can be done in groups in a sense of, maybe you're watching a lot of stuff that's going on and you're wondering, how can I help? Like, how are these people, how can I, whatever the case may be, you're okay to ask those questions. That's also being empathetic, feeling what other people are feeling and saying, you know what, this is something where I could understand why they're feeling this way, because if this happened in my family, if this happened in my community, if this happened in my life, or whatever the case may be, this is how I would feel, right? And kind of put yourself on a level. I think that we're in a time right now where we can see everything that's going on. We have access to everything, anything and everything that we want access to, we have access to. Is it crazy? Isn't that crazy? You can go on Google right now and type anything and something will come up. Like, back in the day, you used to get, I can't find any results for XYZ. Now it's like, you have 1 million pages on the letter Y. Like, you can find anything that you need, okay? Especially if you're specific, you can find anything you need. So we have access to all of these things, and so many people are in a position where we're getting bombarded with a lot more information than we probably did in the past. A lot of stuff is coming to light. A lot of things are being put into our perspective that maybe weren't in our perspective before. And as individuals who are trying to coexist in this society, who are trying to move forward, and who are trying to create a better place. That's why I posted the picture that I posted on this event, which is, a lot of people are running around right now like, oh, cancel 2020 and get rid of 2020. 2020 is over and this, that, and the third. No. In my opinion, 2020 is just beginning. And it's up to us to make the decision as to whether or not in 2020, are we going to make 2020 better, or are we going to keep letting 2020 be the same way? And you might be thinking, oh, well, I'm only one person. I can only do... I'm a faithful person. If you look in history, okay, if you look in story, all right, I'm not getting spiritual on you guys. This is just a story, right? There's the story of Moses and how he freed the slaves from Egypt. Moses was one man. Moses was one man. Martin Luther King was one man. The masses never get appointed to do anything. It's one person with a vision. It's one person with a mindset. It's one person with empathy and compassion, and somebody who's willing to stand up to do the things that other people want to do. But maybe they need to see somebody who's strong enough, or somebody who can get up and who can do whatever it is. Maybe they just need that one person to take the step. And maybe they just need the one person to take the step. This is what it is, right? So it's a good time to have those conversations. It's a good time, keep your eyes open today. Keep your ears open today. Someone might come to you later and say, hey, so-and-so, this is going on in my family, and then this just happened, and da-da-da-da-da, and this and blah, blah, blah. Whatever the case may be. And keep your eyes open for that today. Listen to how people respond. I dare you. If you hear someone say it to somebody else, I know we're not supposed to eavesdrop. We're not supposed to be in all people's conversations, but let's be real. We do it anyway. Who cares? So we do it anyway. And congratulations if you don't. Please, however you do that, feel free to do a Thoughtful Thursday and let us know, because I know I'm nosy and I do it. So, but listen to these conversations. Listen to how people respond. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at how easy it is to diminish someone, and how easy it is to just be empathetic. You'd be amazed. And I dare you, I urge you, I want you to practice that today. I want you to pay attention. And if you hear someone, check this out. You know what I did the other day? It's crazy. And this is what I do. I'm going to finish here. I was out in, where was I? Walmart? I think it was at Walmart. I was at some grocery store. That's all I know. I'm always somewhere. And these two people are having a conversation. I think they might live in the same neighborhood, whatever the case may be, and they just ran into each other at the grocery store and having a conversation. And that is exactly what happened. The man was, he was talking to this woman. And you could tell that the young woman, she didn't really want to talk, and that was fine. I think she was kind of like, and he was kind of talking about, how he was going through some situations where some people were passing away, and not even necessarily because of the virus, just because of age, and they were kind of moving on. He was having this conversation. You could tell he was kind of down. And, maybe he didn't know her very well. Maybe that wasn't the person to have the conversation with, but you could tell that he just wanted to put some stuff out there, wanted to talk. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, and then she was like, well, I got to go. And she kind of walked away. All well and fine. She had something she needed to do. She's not a bad person in any means. But, the gentleman, he was a nice guy. He was just like, yeah, see you later. Have a good day, and then she kind of walked off. And then I was just sitting there looking at apples, and I overheard the situation. I kind of looked up, and I saw, and I'm a very empathetic person. I'm almost so empathetic that if somebody's crying, guys, don't cry near me, because I'll start crying too. That's how empathetic I am. I will feel it in me. And I looked up and I saw this person's face, and I said, there's a lot more going on there than probably I know. And I recognize the gentleman. He actually lived in my neighborhood as well. I think we all live in the same place, big apartment community, who knows. So I kind of walked over, and I was like, hey, how you doing? Because I recognized him. He was like, oh, hey, how you doing? I was like, I'm good. I was like, I overheard your conversation. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be nosy. I tried not to, but it was just forced to habit. He was like, oh, no, it's okay. Da, da, da. And I just said straight up, I was like, how are you coping? Do you need anything? Is there anything that I can do to kind of help? Because it sounds like you're going through a lot, and if you ever need to talk, we live in the same apartment community, just let me know. He was like, oh, I really appreciate that, and he kind of went into it again, and I just sat there and I listened, and I connected and just said, thank you for sharing that with me. I understand where you're coming from, and it's just. And I'm very sorry to hear that. How can I help you? What do you need? And it really just needed to talk. Just needed to get off his chest. We ended up walking back together, having a whole conversation. And we talked for 20, 30, 40 minutes. You saw how it went from 20 to 40. I have no idea. It was long. And it was just whatever. But at the end of it, it was cool. When the conversation ended with the original person, his face was kind of sunk in, and he was kind of like, when we finished talking, he walked away smiling. What kind of difference do you want to have, and how do you want to lead? And this is my thing. You guys know probably from past Thoughtful Thursdays, one of my biggest affirmations in life is that every day I want to compliment someone in some way, that it starts a chain reaction of kindness that eventually will lead to changing someone's life in some way. Here's the cool thing about that. You guys ever notice that when I talk about it changing somebody's life, I'm not talking about me? Like doing these things, it might not reward you that day. Like you might not, if you're walking around to have a conversation with people and you're trying to compliment people so that you can look down and find $100 on the ground, you might not. I'll be honest with you, I try, you know what I'm saying? Like, I found a quarter once, that was cool, you know what I'm saying? You can put that in the gum machine. You might have that moment. Most likely it's not going to happen. But I prefer to live my life feeling joy in my body, in my life. And it brings me joy to see other people joyful. And the cool thing is, if we lived in a world where everybody was joyful, never gonna happen. Let's be real. Like it's gonna take a lot of time for us to get to that point. But if we lived in a world where everybody was being empathetic and they were leading with compassion and they were leading with a spirit of joy, imagine what things could be like. Why can't you do that? Why can't we do that? Let's do that today. That's the challenge today. I want you to listen. I want you to pay attention. And I want you to try to do it. Somebody will come to you today. I guarantee it. Make it happen. That's what I have for you all today on Thoughtful Thursday. I'm signing off because I have things to put in boxes. It's going to be fun, guys. It's going to be a great time. Okay? Appreciate you all. I will talk to you later.